My name is Jordan. I am from Aging with Purpose. We are a virtual caregiver and telephone helpline service for the 55 and up population. On top of serving that population, we also aim to educate, which is why I am doing these videos. I plan on posting one video every Friday that'll follow a certain topic each month. Like I said, they're not going to be long videos because they're just aimed at educating the population on services, problems, solutions, etc. for caregivers and those that they care for. So let's get started. For the first month, I thought we could tackle one of our nation's most prevalent but overlooked issues, elder abuse. So what is elder abuse? It's officially defined as an intentional or negligent act by a caregiver or a person that causes harm or serious risk to a vulnerable elder adult. For the sake of ease for the rest of the video, I'll just refer to an elder adult as an individual. But a caregiver can be anybody that you would think of, like an orderly, a nurse, a doctor, a therapist that's taking care of an individual. It can also go beyond that. It can go to the individual's family, as in like their children or their spouse. They can all be considered caregivers. Obviously, that definition of elder abuse is a little bit general, so you're probably still sitting there thinking, what exactly is elder abuse? Well, we can break it down. There are 7 official recorded types of elder abuse. Number 1 would be physical abuse. Physical abuse is pretty self-explanatory. Anything falls into the category of elder abuse if it causes physical harm, or if you're even threatening an individual, you're committing physical abuse. Emotional and psychological abuse is the second one. This can encompass verbal abuse and threats, isolating someone from a social interaction, belittling or degrading them. Pretty much, if it causes mental anguish, pain, or distress, it's considered emotional or psychological abuse. Verbal abuse that falls under this category is actually extremely damaging. There are studies that have shown that verbal abuse causes more harm and takes a greater toll on the mental health of women aged 50 to 79 than even physical abuse. And physical abuse is the most reported type. So that should just tell you something about the power of verbal abuse. You can look for a great blog article on our website, www.agingwithpurpose.org, regarding the topic of elder speak, which is talking down to elder adults in a clinical setting, and its association with emotional/psychological abuse. The third type would be sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is when an individual is forced, tricked, threatened, or coerced into sexual contact. It also is considered sexual abuse if they're unable to give consent. You find this most often with individuals suffering Alzheimer's or dementia that don't really know what's going on. They're not completely there. They're not able to give consent, so it's considered sexual abuse. The next type you would have would be exploitation, also considered financial abuse. That's when someone illegally uses an individual's property or funds for their own benefit. If theft, fraud, use of influence over an individual to gain control of their assets is considered financial abuse, exploitation. This can be, when the individual is living with their family and their family says, Mom, why don't you just let us take care of your banking? Dad, why don't you let us pay the bills for you? And if they don't really understand what's going on and they don't understand that they've just relinquished control of that money to somebody, that's considered exploitation. They need to be aware of what they're doing. The next one you would have would be neglect. Neglect is when a caregiver fails or refuses to care for an individual's physical, emotional, and safety needs. Obviously everyone knows that when people get older, you have to take care of their physical needs. You have to help them get around. Sometimes you have to help them bathe. But that can take an emotional toll on them, and you need to care for that as well. You need to make sure that they're dealing with it okay and that they're not mentally breaking down inside somewhere you can't see and you can't really help without talking to them. The next one you would have would be abandonment. This one's really sad. It's if anyone's tasked with the duty of caregiving or caring for an individual is deserting them, just leaving them in a frail, vulnerable state. It's abandonment, and obviously it happens more than we'd like it to, or else it wouldn't be considered elder abuse. The last one you would have would be self-neglect. Self-neglect, this is a big one, and it's one not many people would consider. Self-neglect is when an individual isn't able to perform self-care, and that leads them to harm or endangerment. They can't take care of themselves, so they're going to put themselves at risk, and that's considered elder abuse. Now, that's a lot to take in, so you're maybe thinking to yourself after all of that this is a pretty big issue, and it is, but not like it should be. We don't really know how often elder abuse occurs because it's so horribly underreported. Only 1 in 14 cases are reported to authorities, and that's not even including self-neglect. And that's compared to 1 in 10 cases. 1 in 10 cases that there's an occurrence of elder abuse, someone experiencing at least one of those 7 forms of elder abuse. Now, most victims of elder abuse aren't getting the help they deserve, if they're getting any help at all. It's scary because victims of elder abuse can lose a lot. They can lose their independence, they can lose their home, they can lose their life savings, they can lose their health, their dignity, their security. There's studies that have actually shown that victims of elder abuse are at a 300% greater risk, 300% greater risk of dying within 3 years after an occurrence of elder abuse than those who haven't experienced elder abuse. That's a huge number. And that's why elder abuse needs the attention and respect that it deserves, but so often fails to get. So if you or anyone you know is experiencing or has experienced any form of elder abuse, please contact your authorities, and also contact your state's elder abuse hotline. Every single state, all 50 of them, and the U.S. territories have their own elder abuse hotline number that you can call if you have even the inclination that there might be something going on. So please make sure that you call that. If you don't know what your elder abuse hotline is for your state, go to www.agingwithpurpose.org. We have a page in our resources tab that will tell you the hotline number for each state. Now, I really hope this video helped you guys kind of break down what elder abuse is. I will be posting a video next Friday. We're going to go over the signs of elder abuse, how you can spot it, and see if something's going on there if you don't really know. After that, last video of January, I want to do the Elder Abuse Act, which is a subsect of President Obama's Affordable Care Act. And it's a great way to be able to combat elder abuse. So we'll go over that and how you can report it and how you can get this known so that we can actually get these people the help they deserve. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next Friday with the next video.